This one's going to be a little long, so you might want to go make yourself some popcorn, hit pause, and then come back and watch me make an ass out of myself with another hot take. Now, the aspect of the male lived experience that is almost completely inaccessible to women is the gigantic and infinite apathy of the universe towards you. The apathy of the universe is bottomless, and for men, uniquely for men, men begin to feel this apathy at a very early age. He feels like an object of an innate, primal, and deep-seated indifference. He feels the coldness of the world. He feels the indifference of the universe, in other words. It's like no one is watching over you. You're alone in the world, right? And a man feels three distinct and contrasting ways. Three different ways that he feels alone in the world. The first one is he feels a loneliness for a woman. The second one is he feels loneliness for a brotherhood. And the third loneliness he feels is for a master to direct him, a superior, a divinity or a deity to believe in. You might want to call it like some kind of loneliness for a god in a way. Maybe a father figure. And these three types of loneliness are not communicative. And it's hard to communicate for a man. And the satiation, the fulfillment of one of these three will often only amplify the emptiness of the other two. And in modern times, men have been forced to pretend that these feelings are inconsequential or even evil or at the very least non-existent, respectively. Now, I've even heard it said that these three types of loneliness that a man feels are examples of toxic masculinity. And the cure for these problems of loneliness is supposed to be a systematic withdrawal of masculine ways of thinking and being. So, our loneliness, they say, comes from our alienation, our feelings of being alienated from our feelings. Where women, on the other hand, obviously are in touch with their feelings, and they don't have these problems. A lot of the problems men have. And that's because we're told anyway that men suppress our feelings and that suffering traps us. And then we impose it on women. Now, men lack the language to articulate the magnitude of this insult, but fortunately I have been blessed with the gift of gab. So let me see if I can elucidate a little bit on my point here. All right. So first off, the loneliness that a man feels for a woman, we're told is a case of entitlement or the unjust belief that one deserves something. Now, men are told not to suppress their pain, right? We're supposed to be vulnerable, but only in ways that are prescribed for us by the current standards, right? Because, only an entitled loser who can't get laid feels the pain and hardship of not being able to attract a woman, right? This is a pain these men are not allowed to feel because the pain imposes on women, even if only in a general way. And only a toxic male would feel that pain, right? And second, the loneliness we feel for a brotherhood, we're told, is an engine of oppression and exclusion. When men are allowed to form men's organizations, they use them to systematically exclude women from power and influence. Therefore, all male spaces gotta not good. Got to be converted. They're looked at almost with suspicion. And this lack of male participation in organizations like they used to participate in, that lack of male participation, which used to be a big part of a man's life, leaves the only option to associate on the basis of masculine interest. It's now around informal, purposeless groups built around an interest in drinking or drugs. I mean, just look at the overdose rate for men, right? Because men need male friendship. And in particular, men need to be able to struggle together towards a common goal, right? A lot of young men feel defamed, almost, either as like they're misogynistic or something by wanting to hang out with the boys. And third, there is the loneliness we feel for like a god, for lack of a better word, right? Which is really a desire to follow a worthy leader, a leader who's worthy of it. Now, this is hard for even men to understand, especially in America, where we're kind of taught that leaders are evil and that to be free is to be leaderless, right? Men without a worthy leader cause a lot of trouble, though. They usually convalesce around an unworthy leader, right? Those leaders abuse power, right? And it almost feels like we'd be better off if we just kind of devolved into a centerless shamble, like just devolve into kind of a mess, though. That's the problem without some kind of worthy leader. Now, in older times, the pain and danger of having no leader, no role model that practiced what they preached was known. Like, without strong role models, we fall into the worship now of celebrities, of CEOs, Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, right? Politicians like Trump, or even wannabe gurus like me, right? So what men end up doing is they'll build a proxy of a leader, like a little bit from here, a little bit from there, but it's never enough to fill that void, to fill that gap, right? So only the most contemptible kind of idiot would imagine that induction into manhood could come without pain and come without sacrifice. It's a place if it isn't pleasant for a block of marble to be struck by the sculptor's hammer, right? Feel that piece of granite getting chopped, chiseled, right? But do you think order, prosperity, comfort, and security could come without a cost? It can't.